Double Dragon. I played it at the arcade, and it's awesome. You're just real strong, and you fight all these people at once, and people are like throwing barrels and stuff. And you beat them eventually. You beat them. It's not too hard. You just kind of like. And then, as you then mission 2, there's like a bat, and you like use it as like a weapon, ladders and stuff, and there's just like different things you climb up and all that stuff. The year was 1987. The game was Double Dragon. The place was the arcade. Double Dragon did so good in the arcades that it was released for like every home console at the time. Now, I really don't know a whole lot about like any of these home console ports, but I do know about the NES and the Sega versions. So they're very different. So different that they're like having the same title is just kind of wrong. I don't know what they were thinking. Like, have a subtitle or something. Yeah, the difficulty is all over the place. They look and sound so different. And there's glitches. To go from the arcade to the home console, changes have to be made. Now, here's my first attempt at the Sega version of Double Dragon. Oh my god. It's just destroying me. Oh my god. I died so fast. Enemy programming is so different in these games. Now, you got Sega just bringing the killers, and Nintendo just floating in the shallow end. Now, as far as extra lives goes, Nintendo, 3 and you're done. Sega, on the other hand, gave you infinite lives, but there's still a catch. The manual states that they give you infinite lives the entire game, except for the last level, which they give you 3 lives, they refill the 3, and then when you run out, it's game over. So, yeah, this is like potentially, and that's about 30 seconds for the Sega game over. This is potentially the only game I've ever played, seen, or heard of that does that. Pretty much infinite lives the entire game. Then on the final stage, they give you full lives and you can get a real game over. So, infinite lives, refill, then that's it. Sometimes they don't. Alright, let's see. 0 lives. 0 lives. Ugh. Like, this is so cheap. Look at it, it's so dumb. Sometimes it's just random. Oh, God.
Just cannot.
2 lives. When did I get 2 lives? I have 2,600 points now? Did it roll over? Did I miss? And then at 30,000 points, sometimes they actually give you extra lives. So Sega did reprogram this game, as it says proudly on the title screen. Now, they messed up the lives, and they knew this, because they give you infinite lives until the last level. But still though, at 30,000 points, I couldn't really understand. One life? When did I die? I don't think I even died. Losing a life at 30,000 points might seem shocking, but after you play the Sega version enough, it's not. Now Nintendo, on the other hand, just lied to you. So the best move, debatably, in the whole game is the elbow, and they tell you push towards the enemy twice. When they're coming from the left, push to the left twice. Coming to the right, push to the right twice. That's just not even really close to being how you do it. So, you want to know how to pull an ultra combo that results in an elbow? Wait for an enemy to be behind you. And then, you hit A. And then, you did it. You threw an elbow. And again, they did the same nonsense with the spin kick. Press the control pad twice while you're facing the enemy. Again though, no. When the spin kick is unlocked, the kick combo will now end with the spin kick automatically. So basically just B a bunch of times until spin kick happens. Now, here's proof that they knew what the A and B buttons were. A punches, B kicks, and headbutt by pushing the control pad twice, which here is finally right. And like the arcade, Sega gives you all the moves from the beginning, unlike Nintendo, in which you have a leveling system. Some people love it, some people hate it. Now, for the most part, the combos are exactly the same, except for in the Sega version, there is the leaping reverse kick and the roundhouse kick, which I will now refer to as the spin kick. Spin kick, in my experience, is like a handicap. The NES is not that bad, but the Sega version is just awful. Now, it takes like an extra 0.1 or 2 seconds or something to do a spin kick or a roundhouse, and that's just enough time for the enemy to like hit you. And yeah, on the NES, you'll go to do a combo, and then you'll stop, and it's not that crazy. On the Sega version, it is kind of crazy. You'll be hitting them, and you'll go do a spin kick, and they'll punch you while you're turned around, and you literally stop while you're turned around. So you'll do the spin kick, and you're no longer facing the enemy anymore. It's ridiculous. Just look. Turn around again. Classic. Obviously not that annoying on the NES compared to the Sega version. Now once you learn the spin kick though, the kick combo automatically ends in a spin kick, which towards the end of the game gets real annoying. It happens way more frequently. What is annoying the whole game though is the delay after you punch. I don't know what is up with that, but it seems like it should be like you punch, you move. But it's not. It's like you punch and then you move. But there's almost nothing worse than when you just punch and you just kind of stand there for a second doing nothing. It's so annoying. The Sega version, it doesn't happen. You want to know the cheapness that I pulled to win? The NES version, you just elbow the entire game, and you get through most of it. It's very overpowered, and it destroys the enemies, basically. The Sega version, I invented my own techniques. There's basically 3 types of enemies. Ones that jump kick, ones that don't jump kick, big guys like a Bobo. Ones that jump kick, you just stand on top of them and just kick the entire time. 2 and 3, you just stand there and just punch. It's so ridiculous. It's like my favorite thing I found in the game. You just stand there and punch the entire time. They don't know what to do. They got no moves. I mean, it's like this is kind of out of principle. Just doing that just because. Then there's platforming. The Sega version didn't have anything crazy going on, so they're fine. It's whatever. The NES, though, had to compensate for not having a 2-player mode. For one thing, you jump by pressing both buttons at the same time. It's awkward. Then, there's also no way to drop down a lower level. You have to fall. There's no dropping animation. You always fall. It's awkward again. And then just all sorts of stupid stuff happens. God. Look at that! Oh my god! It's so stupid! You might think there's a technique to this avalanche part. Guys, like, you can't. That part is just so freaking janky. God! Headbutting is done the same way in both games. You press left or right twice. And yeah, you headbutt. Now, a lot of times when you're platforming, you press backwards and then forward and forward real quick. It just happens when you're jumping and trying to dodge different obstacles. And so when you have something about to fall on you or you need to move quick, you need to move out of the way and you're busy going when you're like need to move. So yeah, you just get hit. Then on the final level, there's like these like wall traps, I guess. I'm not really sure. They just shoot out when you walk by. The Sega version wasn't that memorable because it wasn't that hard. Yeah, it was. I would just run through it. I wouldn't even really get hurt a lot of times. The NES one though, I could not get through it without getting hurt, or I'd get through it no problem. Maybe there's a pattern. I don't really know. I couldn't figure it out. Maybe I'm just dumb. Someone new to the game has no idea what's going to happen next or how to play. The NES version does a good job being like, ha, gotcha. I don't know. I mean, I don't mind if I'll die in a second. That's so freaking stupid. On the NES, Trial and Error is the name of the game. Beginner's traps are very common. Now, there are certain parts in the game that if you go the wrong way, you gotta repeat like a bunch of the level. So you have to go up there. These parts are so uncommon that when it finally does happen, it's like, good one, game. You got me. And then it just never happens again. No skill, just memory. Now, it's surprising because a game that's based off of skill, these parts just seem random. The first difference that I should have talked about from the beginning is the sound and the graphics. The technical reasons why these games look and sound so different is easy enough to find online. Now, the big debate as to which is better is always led by nostalgia. Whichever one you played when you were a little kid, you always think is awesome for some indescribable quality. It's just good. It's just awesome. It's just good looking. Now, before I tell you about what the difference in graphics makes in the gameplay, I gotta talk about the sound in the Sega version. This is the Sega Mark III. It was released in Japan in 1985, but never made its way out of Asia. The Mark III was then rebranded and remodeled when it came to the US as the Sega Master System. This is relevant because in Japan, they had an FM sound unit add-on released in 1987, basically better sound. Then Sega released a Japanese Master System, basically a newer Mark III. If you look closely at the box, it says FM, and I'm guessing it says, not with FM, because this re-release had built-in FM sound. The only problem is this never came out in America, so you were forced to play with the PSG sound. They sound super different. Take it from me, I played almost this entire game oblivious to the fact there was FM music. Truthfully though, they both sound kind of goofy. Music with him tiptoeing is like goofy. It's like, oh, better run away. Sega reprogrammed this game. Did you know that? Well, they did. And don't forget it. Here, they took the boxes from the NES version that said TJC, Technos Japan Corporation, the original programmers, and used Sega. Sega knew how to program on consoles more effectively. There's real two-player on the Sega version. Versus Nintendo, there's like this wannabe crappy two-player, like one at a time thing. I think this is because Technos didn't know how to program the sprites correctly. I really don't know. I couldn't find a straight answer. More sprites comes at a cost. The Sega version constantly flickers. Just constantly. When someone's holding a weapon, it's like see-through or invisible or not there or... Look at the flicker. Like, see my whip I'm holding. After a while, you're just like, this is fine. Let's not forget the Sega version was two-player, so add another. So you can't see things, or the screen shifts. What was that? They vibrate. I think the shifting and vibrating has something to do with, like, the background moving. The NES handles backgrounds fine, but it does vibrate. This is the end. Man, I get so annoyed with the NES and their bobos with their vibrating strats. It's vibrating though. It's like the programming says, if there are two bobos present and the other one is not ready, then vibrate until the other is ready so you can double team the player. I think a glitch is something that a computer does but is not explicitly programmed for. Like moonwalking. Guys walked through the mountain. That was weird. Like glitch. What? he's dead. Still gotta beat the other guys. He's just walking off. See you, dude? Yeah, just back off. Back off, dude. Got him. That dude just walked right off the screen. Or they're stuck on walls or a ladder. The wall is defeating her. Ridiculous. Yet again. Dynamite on the NES. He doesn't really know what it's supposed to do. God, it's still there. God. I don't know how they didn't hit him. God, please. Weapons on the Sega version make the enemies act just so predictable. This guy's just beelining for a weapon. It's gonna be off the screen. There's gonna be another weapon. Or is there a bat or something, I feel like, over here? Come on. Come on, dude. Go over and get your weapon. Come on, man. Another glitch in the Sega version is like this, like, invisible wall. I can't get it. Ah! Then there's your standard glitches, just weird crap happens. No, I can't. Oh. That was weird. Double Dragon is glitchy on both consoles. I could show you a ton of glitches, but I gotta wrap this up. Now what it boils down to is how much you enjoy your time with it. And beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Back to the beginning of the gameplay, how the enemies act. He just fell off. Got him. I like that last clip there. Some moments are better in hindsight. Ah! God! Jesus! Oh my God! Just give me the freaking weapon. Ugh, I love the Sega end of level title card. And graphically, the Sega knives are awesome. And an awesome combiner-like difference goes to Sega again. They look... Luckily you tiptoe around so fast. It's like he's wearing the shoes from Pee-wee Herman, like the white boots or whatever. He liked that movie a lot. And sounds so different. It's like, they like... It's just the tempo of the song and his footsteps are like the same. Which led me to make this song. Walking around delicately tiptoeing. Walking around delicately tiptoeing. Gotta get away from them. 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 Tiptoe away from them. On to the glitches. Like I pointed out before, the Sega enemies are so predictable. He walks over there, grabs a knife, and then throws it, walks 1 inch to the left, then runs back, grabs another knife. I love that. The guy just walking into the river. Like, come on, dude. It's just it's not programmed well. NES version, because it's just like there isn't so many janky things that happen in the NES version. Look. It's so crazy. I mean, look, like it's just like perfectly in tune with you. Then on the NES, some are useful. Maybe this was the last time I tried this game. Some are random. Great. Summer enemies dancing. Who are them dancing? Like I said, these are glitchy games. I end with showing you one from Game Genie. See you guys. Wait. Double Dragon? I'm done with Double Dragon. It was hard, but it had really cool music. And me and my friends, it was so fun. But we did beat it. Hey, you ever play Battletoads?